And what a great budget. And in one word, if I say, people say that popular and this and that, but I'll say this is the first union budget in the history of India where a very comprehensively the finance minister have covered the real estate, not just a labor class, not just a middle class, not just a rental housing or affordable housing, or maybe urban planning. There has to be a loudest way of applaudits must be given to the finance minister. One of the best budget, I would say, in the recent times which I have seen in as far as the union budget is concerned. Let's see, go by step what exactly were the budget said in very nutshell and very quickly, because I don't want to expand the explanations, but it is the priority was set by the union finance minister, and the priority number 5 is the urban development, and priority number 7 is the infrastructure. Now this is where the two key phrases of the entire budget lies as far as the real estate is concerned. Now the finance minister have said that turning attention to the full year and beyond in this budget, we particularly focus on employment, skill, MSME, and the middle class. And the word MSME and the middle class are the key words wherein the entire budgets were actually outlined it. The 3 crore additional houses under the Prime Minister Awas Yojana in rural and urban areas in the country and have been announced already. And for that, the already allocations are being made. 3 crore housing is already planned, and actually it is in a urban area, rural and urban areas. So what it means is that the affordable housing, those who are actually constructing or those who are into the segment of affordable housing, people actually misconceived affordable housing into the weaker section of housing, but affordable housing is a different concept altogether, where the Prime Minister Awas Yojana have for the first time, not just in rural but also in the urban poor and urban agglomerations, where the allocations are being made. Now, under the PM Awas Yojana Urban 2, that is the second version of the Yojana, that is the housing needs of 1 crore urban poor and middle class families will be addressed with an investment of 10 lakh crore rupees. Now, this is never had happened, I tell you, because various 5 years plan and various other Niti Aayog's surveys, where although we were actually given the figures that how much short we are, but for the first time the union budget have provided that there will be a 1 crore urban poor and middle class housing is going to be there, and there will be a allocation of 10 crore rupees. This will include the central assistance of rupees 2.2 lakh crore in the next 5 years, and provision for interest subsidy to facilitate loan at affordable housing or affordable rate is also envisaged. So the subsidized rate of finance or housing finance will be already there. Now next we will see that the urban word urban is used 15 times in the union budget, and the word land is used 19 times in the union budget. And why I'm telling you, because these are the references are being made in the union budget for the first time, and we as real estate professionals usually search these words in the union budget, and believe you in me that this is the one of the budget which have actually focused the very much needed allocations in as far as the real estate is concerned. Now the union budget, one of the points which the honorable minister have actually inserted was this, that land related reforms. Now, land reforms are much actually overdue in our country. We were actually not getting a specific good title, good information on land, not having some digitized way of land records, or maybe satbara or fairfar or mutations entries were not found uh, after Sarsai. Now this is the first time that the union budget have actually said that the land related reforms and actions both in rural and urban areas will cover what? The land administration, planning and management, to urban planning, usage and building bylaws. Now building bylaws are also very much important, though in Maharashtra it is, we are having a very good building bylaws, say DCPR and other specifications, and these will be incentivized for completion within the next 3 years through appropriate fiscal support. Now, not only that, it has been identified, the land reforms are being identified, but it is also a specific time period has been imposed for that, and then there will be appropriate fiscal support. The next is the rural land related actions will include assignment of unique land parcel identification number, ULPIN, or Bhu Aadhaar for all lands. That means that now there will be a, after independence, I tell you, the cadastral survey when it was done, the digitization of the land is absolutely was needed. Some part or some states have actually achieved it, but this time it was a need of the hour. So what the rural land related actions includes? First is the assignments of the unique land parcel identification number, or Bhu Aadhaar for all the lands. Then digitization of cadastral maps. So for the first time, the cadastral surveys are going to be there and it will be digitized. Survey of map, subdivision as per the current ownership. And the fourth is the establishment of land registry. Fifth is the linking to the farmer registry, and these actions will also facilitate credit flow and other agriculture services. Though the finance minister was absolutely correct in the identifying the one crop or two crop or three crop land and it's holding in various states, but then there has to be some quantification of the land and digitization of the land record. Moving on, the land record in the, and the next what she says is that the land records in urban areas will be digitized with the GIS mapping, and that was the need of the hour. The GIS mapping will be very specific. This is a technology which actually identifies the land with the satellite images, and an IT-based system for property record administration, updating, and tax administration will be established. Now, in after this, I tell you that when a single property is being sold to so many other people, that particular the practice will be arrested at once after this. So what is coming up is that an IT-based system for property record administration and updating and tax administrations, that is the local self governments usually charge you property tax, and that would be the how it is going to be digitized. And this will also facilitate improving the financial position of the urban local self government, and there where the need was there. Further, the bill said, the finance minister said that our government will facilitate development of investment ready plug and play industrial park with complete infrastructure in our or near 100 cities, in partnership with the state and the private sector, by better using town planning schemes. Now, uh, we have understood that the how city emerges. I'll give you the example of Mumbai. where the cotton mills were actually established. After that, the logistic people came in, labor class, BTT chawl, the offices. Then there was the service industry, and this is how the city has emerged in that 200 years. And now it is a finance sector center in the country. Now, this is how the 100 plug and play industrial parks with complete infrastructure in the next 100 cities is going to be there. Now, 12 industrial parks under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program also will be sanctioned. Further, the union budget have recognized the need for the rental housing, and the rental housing with the dormitory. Of course, there is a specific provisions is going to be made for the labor class in those industrial belts where the rental housing with dormitory type accommodation for industrial workers will be facilitated in PPP mode with VGF support, and commitment from the anchor industries were actually gone. Now, the removing references, that is some of the tax proposals which I could find, though there will be a detailed analysis by the tax experts. But what I could find for as far as the real estate is concerned, this that now the finance minister has removed the reference to the National Housing Board, as housing finance companies are now under the purview of the Reserve Bank of India as a category of non-banking financial institution, and it is the proposed to remove the reference to National Housing Board in section 43D of the act. That is, now the housing finance companies will be directly are subject to the RBI. It is much needed was is that the regulatory there were two regulators, and then today that the union budget have actually provided for. Now, TDS on sale of immovable property, it is proposed to clarify that where there is a more than one transferor or transferee, more than one buyer or more than two one seller, then in that respect of an immovable property, then in such consideration for transfer of the immovable property shall be the aggregate of the amount paid or payable by all the transferees to the transferor, or all the transferors for transfer of such immovable properties. Further going on, then the transfer of capital asset, it is proposed to provide that the transfer of a capital asset under a gift or will or an irrevocable trust, or by an entity other than an individual, or a Hindu undivided family, that is HUF, only shall be regarded as transfer for the purpose of calculation of the capital gain. Now, lastly, income from letting out of the house property now is going to be treated as the income from house property and not as a business income in various matters, that it was treated as the business as from the house property. Friends, I believe that there will be a lot of discussions, and there will be a lot of deliberations on the union budget. But I tell you, it's a first comprehensive union budget as far as the real estate is concerned. Lastly, huge investment in the infrastructure is going to be arresting the real estate price in the country. How? Because the moment there will be a good infrastructure within the city or the outskirt of the city, or maybe the you know areas of catchment areas of the CBD, or the commercial hubs, then people are going to have a good infrastructure by reaching to these CBD areas from the far flung places, say maybe using the metro, or maybe a good road services, or maybe a surface transport, or maybe a water transport. Now, if that infrastructure or almost 11 lakh crore rupees that the government is proposing to infuse in, then there will be a huge, you can say, mobility within the city. There will be a decentralization of the commercial activity of the in the city, and the moment there will be a decentralization of the city in the this commercial activities, the preference to have an accommodation in the dearer area, that is near the CBD area or near the posh area, will go. There people would love to go into the into a less congested places, maybe far flung extended suburbs or whatever, when there is a good infrastructure to reach the CBD areas or infrastructure. So in that way, the demand for specific areas is going to be bifurcated or maybe trifurcated into various other areas near the cities, and then where I believe that the good infrastructure would definitely going to arrest the property price as far as the real estate is concerned. With this, I'm open for all the questions. If at all you have it, you can either post it in the chat box or you can send it to me on editor@subtagala.com. Thank you very much.